are interested in Profit Matters, and we want to show you how we can get the data from you that we're going to need in order to figure out what the costs are going to be, as well as how much work needs to be done. So I've got Ashley here. Ashley's the CEO and founder of Profit Matters, and she's going to walk you through the two different versions. The first version is add us to your QuickBooks temporarily so that we can take a look and see how everything's been done. The second is, if you're just not comfortable with that right now, totally understand, just go ahead and pull out this second piece of information for us, and that'll allow us to help you. So Ashley, I'm going to turn it over to you. Would you just show us real quickly how to add us to their QuickBooks Online so that we can get access and see what they've got going on?
Absolutely. Thank you, Derek. So the easiest way to get us that information is to go to Manage Users. I went to the
And that's up in the settings. Okay, got it. Yeah, Manage Users.
Icon, Manage Users. You have users at the top here with the number 1. You could add a user there. What we need you to do is click on accounting firms.
Okay.
And then click invite. And on invite, we do first name Profit, last name Matters, and the email address is quickbooks@profitmatters.co. And we send that over to you so that you have it, and then you hit save. You can see here, I already have a user with this email, but you would hit save. That would add us as an accounting firm. Here's the reason why. Overview and Books Review only exist if you're an accounting firm. That does not exist if you're a user. So many people say, I already have 2 accounting firms. I need to add you as a user. That really doesn't help us because we have to manually grab the data.
Got it.
If I go to overview, I can see the last time the bank account was reconciled, kind of a history of what needs to be done. I could see any issues with your books. And then I'll typically come down here. We'll choose a 3-month period, and we'll be able to see, okay, this is how many bank account transactions we have. We average out 3 months because we know some businesses are seasonal.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yep. So the ideal situation is add us as an accounting firm in your QuickBooks software. Then that way we can do a little bit of analysis before we even jump on a call with you. And we've got some ideas on what we can do and what the costs and everything will be before we even, sit down and have a conversation. Now, let's say you don't have access to that. Maybe you've got to, you've got to ask your accounting department for that information, or you've got to ask your CPA or somebody. Show us the secondary way. If I just need to log into the system and grab some numbers that are going to help on that sales call, how would I go about doing that?
You're going to go to reports over in your left-hand column, choose reports. If you type up here in the top, general ledger. So here's general ledger. It's also in these lists down here, typically at the bottom in the list for accountants. And then you come here and you can see I have the general ledger for March. Same thing. You're going to choose the general ledger for last quarter. In my test file here, last quarter has a few things in it. Here's what I'm going to do with this data. I'm going to export it to Excel and send it to myself. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to export last quarter, send that over to whoever is helping you get a quote. And then that person's going to be able to Control F in there and find how many invoices, how many bills, what's the total amount of expenses. So if you go to the Profit Matters website, you get a really good idea of what the cost is going to be if you know how many bills, how many invoices, and the total expenses. So these are all things you can easily find in your general ledger.
Now, Ashley, if I'm filling out the form on the website and I just want to add some of this information in, let's say it's just the expenses. I'm just looking up here at essentially it's like the third line down, right? Is that my expenses there? Or
Absolutely. You're looking for any word that says bill.
Okay.
So when you see bill in your accounts payable, we can see how many bills. So these are the bills that came. You can see this was for job supplies. So if Derek sent Profit Matters a bill, that's going to go into accounts payable. So we want to know how many bills are we going to enter into the system to pay for you.
So in this instance, it's 2.
That's
for
right.
Account, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that makes sense. So we're looking for the expense number and then the accounts receivable and the accounts payable. So there's 2 accounts receivable, 2 accounts payable. And in this example, the expenses is what, $2,700?
That's right. And so Derek's made a really good point historically. What about the things that come over from Shopify or from Stripe?
Right.
Maybe, and those are things that people naturally say that is AR, but it's not. That doesn't require any work on our part. So we're looking for the invoices we actually had to create. So a Stripe or a Shopify transaction type will actually be a sales receipt you collected when you sold it, versus you're looking for the word invoice, you're looking for the word bill, and then, you know, like we talked about, you want to see what was the total cost of goods plus expenses for your total expenses.
Yeah. And that's important, I think, to note, because the way that we do our pricing, we have package pricing, but things like, you know, manually processing an invoice or manually sending an invoice is outside of that scope a little bit, because there's so much of it's automated. Not most businesses, most of it's automated, but there's probably still a couple of these little things. We just need to know that, so we know what we have to do each month. You know, you want to make sure that those bills go out. We want to make sure that those bills come in, but most of our process is really automated. And I think that's what most people will see as they get sort of a demo of all the stuff that we do. So, okay. Thank you for doing that, Ashley, because I think that helps people. The best thing to do is just add us if you can, because then that way we can take a really good look and give you really accurate pricing. If not, just grab the expenses, the accounts receivable, the accounts payable. And when we jump on the call with you, we can give you some general idea of, hey, this is what we think it's going to cost each month for us to be your accounting team. So excellent. Thank you. And listen, thank you for filling out this form, and thanks for your interest in Profit Matters. We really look forward to being your accounting team.